Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Build Your Own Precon. I know I said Ted Yav is coming out today, but I'm not fully confident about it yet. So this one, I'm gonna show you. I'm a little bit confident on it. So Build Your Own Precon, $43.22. That gives you a little bit of workaround. And I'm just gonna show you. This deck's a little odd, so I'm thinking, is there? No, yeah, okay. There's a cheaper printing. Sick. So Brenard Ginger Sculptor. He's 1, green, white, blue. Each creature you control that's a food or a golem gets +2/+2 in trample. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you can exile it. If you do, you create a copy. That's a food golem, and you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life. So, I kind of took this the wrong way, because I thought, hey, golems, Flicker Blade Splicer, create 5/5 trample first strike golems. So it's kind of a flicker deck. Starting off, Charming Prince is one of the standard flicker deck creatures. Elvish Visionary, flicker, draw a card. Gala Greeters is going to be a payoff. Ice-Fang Coatl will draw you cards. Prosperous Innkeeper's treasures and gaining life. Drawing cards, drawing cards, drawing cards. Drawing a card, creating tokens, or bouncing. Blade Splicer. This is where it gets serious, because you come in, you have a 1/1 that creates a 5/5 trample first strike, then you either flicker it, or it dies, come back, create another 5/5 trample first strike, and then itself is a 3/3 trample first strike, because it is a food golem now. Eternal Witness is, you're gonna help get stuff back. It's a classic for flicker decks. Farhaven Elf is this is all standard flicker stuff. It's gonna help you ramp, Flickerwisp, flickers. Good Fortune Unicorn is gonna proc off of all of your creatures entering, and remember, they're gonna be creatures when they come back with Brenard too, so that's double for each creature. Guardian of Ghirapur is a classic flicker creature. Malcator Purity Overseer is going to be creating you golems. Even if you can't get that 3 or more artifacts entering the battlefield, you're still going to create a golem on entering, which is going to be a 5/5 trample. So you get a 5/5 trample when it enters, and then it dies, creates another 5/5 trample. It itself becomes a 3/3 trample. So Reclamation Sage is going to come back. It's going to be removal. You can flicker it. See, the idea is anything that you can flicker, you can also have come back with Brenard. So whether you flicker it or it dies, you're reactivating the ETBs. Rumor Gatherer is going to be scrying and draw. Skyclave is removal. Soulherder is consistent flicker. Felidar is flicker. Foundation Breaker. So when it sacrifices itself, when it enters the battlefield, it's gonna come back with Brenard, because that counts as it dying, since it's sacrificed and not exiled. So it's gonna come back as a 4/4 trample for 2 mana. So it's pretty good. Master Splicer is another one of those golem creators. Restoration Angel is flicker. Solemn Simulacrum is a golem, and you're going to want to be activating those abilities twice. Vital Splicer is another one of those golem creators. So is Wing Splicer. Acidic Slime's removal and a good flicker target. Angel of Invention, you can flicker it for Fabricate, so that you can just keep creating more servos. Cultivator of Blades. So when it comes back with Fabricate and the buff for being a golem, it'll be a 5/5. And when it attacks, other creatures will get 5/5/5, and they all have trample. So it's going to help you close out games. Mulldrifter is going to die if you evoke it. So you evoke it, draw 2 cards, it dies, comes back with Brenard, draw 2 cards. So it's a 3 mana, 4/4 flying trample, draw 4 cards. Precursor Golem is going to create golems when it dies. Unfortunately, it's going to channel all of the removal spells to other golems. But I think, honestly, it entering, creating 2 5/5 trample golems, dying, coming back, and coming out with, like, it's gonna be crazy. Aether Snipe, again, you evoke it, it's gonna come back as a 6/6 for 3 mana, and it's gonna bounce something. Sun Titan is... I'm not entirely sure why he's in the deck, because Brenard has to exile, so Sun Titan's probably going to be removed. Thought Monitor, all of the golems are artifacts, so that's going to tick off affinity. When it enters, it's going to draw you 2. When it dies, it's going to draw you 2. When you flicker it, it's going to draw you 2. It's really just going to help you get through the deck. Walker of the Groves. So, it's a 5 mana, create a 4/4, come back as a 9/9. So a 5 mana 9/9. So a little bit crazy. Triplicate Titan is going to be creating golems, and then it's a Okay, so you play it as a 9 mana 11/11 trample vigilance flying. It dies, creates 3 5/5s, and comes back as an 11/11. Dies, creates more 5/5s. Like, it's crazy. Soul Ring is ramp, Arcane Signet, Azorius Signet, Fellwar Stone, Selesnya Signet, Simic Signet. All of them are going to help you get to your stuff consistently. You have Ashnod's Altar, so you can sacrifice stuff, add the mana, and then they'll also come back as a Brenard. So if you need the ETB ability again, like Reclamation Sage, something important, you can just sacrifice it to altar. Icon of Ancestry. Everything's going to be a golem when they come back, so that turns all of your golems from +2/+2 to trample to +3/+3. Maskwood will mean that everything's a golem before it even hits the battlefield. So that's going to be crazy, so that everything always has +2/+2. Cloud Shift is a flicker spell. Ephemerate is flicker. Essence Flux is flicker. Swords is removal. Momentary Blink is flicker. Planar Incision is flicker. Return to Nature is removal. Take Up the Shield is going to be protection, because your commander is going to become a bit of a magnet for removal. Fairy's Time Twist is flicker. Generous Gift is removal. Vanish into Memory is flicker. Emergent Sequence is going to help you search for another land. Rampant Growth is ramp. Divine Reckoning. So if you choose a creature, and that creature is Brenard, everything's coming back, and since Brenard's still alive, you're gonna get the food golems. Same with Promise of Loyalty. Intangible Virtue is going to bump up all of your creature tokens. Far Traveler, as long as you have your commander out, you're going to be able to flicker once per turn. Legion Loyalty is really, I don't know if you know what Myriad does. So, if you have 3 opponents, and you attack one with a creature, you create 2 copies. Well, this deck's based on ETB abilities, so each of those copies has an ETB ability. It's gonna go wild. Ash Barrens, Canopy Vista, Evolving Wilds, Exotic Orchard, Forest, Gates of Isfel, Islands, Lichora, Mirror Lake. This is always a weird choice, but if you're copying something for an ETB ability, generally worth it. Plains, Port Down, Prairie Stream, Scattered Groves, Sky Cloud Expanse, and Yavimaya Coast. So in general, I think the deck might be a little overtuned to flickering, but I think it's going to do what it sets out to do. It's got ways to win, it's got ways to draw, and I think overall this is pretty, I would say, strong. So, give it a shot. Tell me what you think. What do you change? Let me know in the comments below.